Hey everybody, how you doing? Hey everybody, how you doing? Hey everybody, how you doing? So, got my cooking shit on. Alright, let's get into it. Corn fritters.
Entertaining means people are coming over, and people coming over, they want to eat something before the big.
I didn't open the lines when I was on my channel that I opened the lines on. Why do you think I'm going to do it now?
Thing that you're making them, so appetizers are important. And this one, oh yes, this one will have them coming back forever. Hear that? Of course you do. That's bacon. Diced up bacon sizzling in the pan on its way to getting mostly crispy because it's going in.
Best way to dice up your bacon is to partially freeze it.
Corn, bacon, and jalapeno fritters. Oh yes. Oh yes, my friends. You hand one of these warm to your guests and a little lime, sour cream, yogurt deal to dip it into. You'll have them eating out of your hands. So let's continue, shall we? It goes together really quick. It cooks really quick. It's kind of an ideal thing. Unless you don't like dealing with oil, then have somebody else in your family do it. You're looking at 4 ounces of beautifully diced up bacon that I want to get on this side of crispy. I do think there's more flavor when the bacon still has a little softness to it. Look, you take it as far as you want, but I'm getting ready to take this out because for me, it's perfecto. Get it drying on paper towels and I'll be back. And now we're just assembling this in our bowl. Corn fritters would require some amount of cornmeal, and there's that. Recipes below, don't worry about amounts. And then some flour, baking powder, kosher salt, and I like pepper in mine, a nice amount. Little garlic powder, little smoked paprika, diced green onions. The jalapeno part are diced pickled jalapenos, and more corn. Hello, big boy. That's a can of cream corn. Last but not least, our cooked bacon. And we mix. There's a lot of stuff.
Ugh. God, cream corn.
In here, so this is the time to mix really well so it's even. You don't want a fritter with nothing but pickled jalapenos in it. That's great. Right, we stick this in the fridge for 15 minutes. In the meantime, let's make a little lime cream thing to dip into. This is really simple. A bowl, Greek yogurt, a little pinch of salt, a lime rolled to break up the pulp inside, make it juicier, cut and squeezed. I like the idea of keeping this dip really simple because there's a lot going on in the fritters and I want this to be just a nice little accompaniment. All right, I'll stick this in the fridge. When the batter's ready, we fry. And with our oil hot, a little more than 350, and our batter rested, I'm using my little scooper guy. In they go. I think probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 at a time. I don't want to drive the temp of the oil down too much. And these are going to take, 2 to 3 minutes. As always, I like to make sure they're not sticking. But they're looking good.
Corn poppin' fresh,
Damn, Max has balls of steel.
batter just right. Sam said, crank the heat, now be crispy and light.
What's the difference between a fritter and a hush puppy? Hush puppy is always cornmeal. Fritters, way more flexible, can be made with flour, cornmeal, or a mix. These guys are there. And looking beautiful, I might add. Let them drip off for a second. I'm gonna put them on a paper towel to dry. Make another batch and just keep going.
Smoky from the bay.
Well, let your oil get back up to temp, my guy.
Spicy from the panio.
Please tell me this is somebody's girlfriend or wife, because if they paid some bitch for this, they overpaid.
Oh, look, another gorgeous batch. When you see us next, we'll be eating these. And done. And gorgeous, by the way. Crispy, beautiful.
Anything with cream corn in it cannot be considered gorgeous. I'm
Amazing,
sorry, I hate cream corn.
amazing flavor. Fine, we tasted one.
If I decide to shove my mother into the cheapest nursing home on the planet, it will be because she made me eat cream corn as a child.
Okay, look how beautiful they are. And inside, corn, bacon, jalapeno. But let's not just look at them, let's eat them. Fried food. The crisp. Oh my God. Jalapeno, bacon, corn, a little bit of smoked paprika. But wait, remember this business? The lime, it looks simple, but I wouldn't want it any different.
All right. That's that. I guess I'll stave off on the whore for a minute. This is Rick Bayless. Tomatillo chicken.
Hi everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. The recipe we're
Why are you adding potatoes to that?
making is the chicken with roasted tomatillos and poblanos that you need to know by heart. And it starts with the roasted tomatillo base that I've made in another video. So if you haven't watched that video, click the link below and it will take you to that short and simple one, because this is something that in Mexico they use to season many, many different dishes. This is a really great recipe to know to serve to company, in fact, because it's that delicious, it's that unique. So the first thing that we have to do is to start browning this chicken. I'm using chicken thighs, and to tell you the truth, I went in with a knife first and cut off all the little strips.
Okay, to be specific, you're using bone-in chicken thighs. Bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs, and not to be that guy, but there's a fucking difference.
Bits of skin that were around the outside of it.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI.
Second thing that I'm going to,
Hey,
and then I
Brian
patted
Hicks.
it dry with paper towels, and then I'm going to salt it evenly over the top here. And once I've gotten all the salt distributed nice and even on those guys, I'm going to coat this pan with some oil. A lot of people would use for this beautiful fresh rendered pork fat. You could do that. Also, if you have bacon drippings, it's really delicious in this situation to use it as the way to brown this chicken now. Okay, so.
But you used what looks like olive oil, not the best oil for this. Again, I'm sorry, but this guy follows in the same vein as Steven Reichland. He's not as bad, but he follows in the same vein.
we're going
And again, typically chicken is something you want to do low and slow.
to put them in skin side down here. I want to make sure, yeah, it's hot enough. I had turned the pan on
Well, generally it's the side you season first that you put down first.
before we started so that it could already start getting hot. And then I want to fit these 8 chicken thighs. They have the bone in them, by the way. Why do we want to do that? It's simply because they'll have a lot more flavor and be juicier if you cook them with the bone in. And so
Debatable, but you know what? They're usually a lot cheaper, so fuck it. It's going into tacos anyway.
these 8, it's about 2 pounds or so of these guys, and they fit
Or at least it should go into tacos.
beautifully in a very large skillet. So I'm working here in my 12-inch skillet. This one is made of cast iron, which I really love. It doesn't have to be, but cast iron will always be your friend when you are cooking something like this, simply because it will allow the heat to be completely evenly distributed, and you won't have a lot of hot spots, so part of it doesn't get done before others. So this is going to be, I'm working over about a medium high heat here.
Medium high for chicken? Okay, I want to be completely clear. I do not know where this motherfucker lives. If he lives in, like, let's say, the higher parts of Colorado, yeah, he may need to go to medium high. Me, where I live, chicken is medium to medium low. Again, I have no idea where this dude lives. This guy could be in a fucking souped-up cabin in the middle of the goddamn mountains in fucking Idaho.
And I want to brown the chicken really beautifully on the skin side only. I didn't salt the other side of the chicken, but I'm going to do that now. Always be sure that when you're sprinkling salt, you're doing it from at least this high over the pan, because it allows.
Searing chickens, I mean, you can do it, but it's not going to be like a steak. It's just not, because you have to cook chicken well done.
The air to help you distribute the salt evenly over everything. And while that's working there, we're going to roast a couple of poblanos here. So
now, I will say, I do love me some roasted poblanos. I don't do them in the oven. It's fine. I just do them over a burner and just watch them.
I'm going to turn on
God, do I love roasted poblanos.
fire to high here.
Oh, okay, good. He's doing that. All
if
right,
you don't
cool.
have
I just because I've seen that little baking sheet, I thought he was going in the oven, which you can do.
gas that you're working on, you can do this high up underneath a preheated broiler. But I'm going to turn these.
I just prefer the goddamn pan. Poblano peppers are big enough where it don't matter.
Guys, over this fire until they're completely blackened and blistered on the outside. Then I'm going to let them cool down till I can handle them. And I'm going to pull all of.
Did you cover the bowls or not? Because I'm curious if that does anything.
The blackened skin off, then pull.
Because right now the way I would do this is I'd pull them off when they're blackened, put them in a bowl, cover that with clear film, saran wrap, plastic wrap, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and then let them hang out, chill out until I can, again, peel shit off.
That whole seed pod out of them. Tear them open. I like to rinse them briefly underwater to get all of the stray bits of charred skin or
I don't do this, but I can't see the harm in it.
some of the seeds that are still in there off. And then I'm going to cut them into small pieces.
Zero harsh ingredients, zero cleaning compromise. That's the Huggies Skin Essentials wipe.
Okay, this has been about 10 minutes or so to brown these very nicely here. You can see that the skin has really crisped up and is really gorgeously golden. That's what we're
Okay.
really looking for here. So I'm taking them out of this pan and putting them on a rimmed baking sheet here. Rimmed baking sheet.
Again, this is a nitpick. I would have lined this with parchment paper, but that's purely for cleanup purposes.
Because I want to catch any juices that they have there. And now I'm going to turn the temperature down just a little bit here. And into this pan, I'm going to pour, this will make quite a bit of spattery noise here, but I'm going to put it in there. This roasted tomatillo base with the green chili, and it has garlic and onion in it. It's got a little tiny bit of salt, but not enough for the final dish. So we'll come back and season it in just a little bit. I want to cook this down for 4 or 5 minutes until it gets
what are you doing with the chicken? It's still mostly raw.
very concentrated. This is where you really bring the flavors together. But in this really quick cook
This is where I would add the tequila, my friends.
down here,
Always tequila.
we will see it get to the consistency of about like tomato paste, that kind of consistency. You know, when I'm stirring through it now, it just runs right back together. You can sort of see the base of the pan, but not very much. When it's ready, I'll be easily able to put my spatula through it and see the bottom of the pan. Okay, while this is cooking down, let's talk about the potatoes. Now,
Why are there potatoes? Why is the chicken is not done yet?
potatoes I've chosen here are the ones that are super popular, especially in central and southern Mexico. The little red skin
Yeah, the little red ones. I forget what they're called, but I don't really care.
boiling potatoes. They call them papas cambray. Cambray referring to anything that's like very special, usually something small and delicate. And so I'm gonna, if they're bigger than like a 3/4 of an inch or so, and these are about an inch and something, I cut them in half. If they're small, then leave them whole. And I'm going to do the cooking of these. You could do it in salted water if you want to. I'm going to use my microwave because it works really fast and it really is very even cooking. One more thing here. I always like to season these guys with some salt before they go into the microwave. If you're going to do this in boiling water, then you'll really season the water very nicely there. Now into the microwave, but you have to cover.
Oh, I hate this already.
Them. I have a microwave cover like that that allows steam to come out. But if you don't have that, then cover them with plastic wrap and put a few holes in it. I am going to do this for 4 minutes here, and at that end of that, we'll check them. They should be tender by that moment. Okay, now let's come back over here and look at this sauce.
When are you going to finish the chicken?
It really is like the consistency of coarse tomato paste. You can see the bottom of the skillet very easily here. Now this is the moment at which we will put the broth in here. So I have a cup of broth that will go in.
Oh my God, what is this guy fucking doing?
We're going to put the poblanos that were
At some point, are we going to get the goddamn chicken in the oven?
roasted,
Because it's barely cooked.
peeled, seeded.
Yes, you have a nice skin. I'll give you that. Congratulations.
And chopped. And this is going to give a really beautiful flavor to the.
Oh my God, I have to pee. I'll be right back.
this roasted tomatillo salsa.
All right.
Now, poblanos are not very spicy. And so it's going to
Yeah,
give more of a red chili, of a green
I
chili
know that.
flavor, not so much of the heat. And now for herbs, I'm just going to stay very classic, the way that they would in central Mexico, which is going to be with epazote. Always goes with the tomatillo salsa.
What the hell is epazote? Again, I'm pretty worldly, but I'm not complete worldly.
So I'm going to take a whole branch of this. It's kind of a slightly small one, so I'm going to put a couple of these in here. And
Don't talk politics on this channel, Phoenix.
typical style in Mexico is to put the branches of epazote directly
But tell you what, I will slightly break that rule. I don't give a shit. Criminals need to go to jail. Point blank, period.
in the sauce so that they give flavor, and then we could take them out before we serve here. I am going to, at this point, give this.
And you can't have people beating the shit out of people. So, no. They can go to jail. For a long fucking time.
A taste, and then season it with some more salt, because I know we have a little bit of
Well, crime can be down more if we lock up more criminals.
salt in that base, but it's going to need more than what we have in there. And so I'm going to add like a generous teaspoon and then go back and taste it again and see.
Again, I am more worried about this half-raw chicken that is, I don't know, dying on this pan!
If we're in the right spot flavor-wise here. So, oh, that's really nice. That savoriness comes out. That's what I'm looking for, not just the tanginess of the tomatillos, but the savoriness. Now,
I'm not rounding up people. I'm rounding up criminals. There's a difference.
now,
People didn't willingly break the law. Criminals did.
okay. At this point, the chicken will go back in, but we will put it skin side up like this so that the skin stays relatively crispy. It's a kind of moist environment for it. So it will soften a little bit, but you just see how lovely this looks. You can imagine that.
Of course, you could have done this in reverse. Not for nothing. Cook the chicken, make the skin crispy, and then put this in for like a minute, and probably have the same goddamn dish.
If you were going to have guests over and you serve them,
You
this,
just would have had
what
it. Just would have had crispy skin.
amounts to a very homey dish, but one that's really
I do a little bit. I did a little bit.
beautiful. I think everybody's going to love it. Now we'll finish cooking the chicken in there. I don't have a top for this, so I just take a rimmed baking sheet and lay it over the top like that. We want to cook this now over a fairly low heat, just a gentle simmer through all of this. After
Well, geez, it seems once again white people have to come in and clean up a black woman's mess.
it's cooked for a few minutes, I will put the potatoes in there so that they warm in the sauce as well. This will take another 10, 15 minutes, something like that, to finish cooking. If you have an instant read thermometer, you're going to want to see it get to about 160 degrees. Okay, I am going to check this chicken to make sure that
Phoenix, unless you can be a good little girl, I'm gonna put you in timeout.
it's in good shape here. If you don't have a
I don't piss her off.
thermometer, you can also check it just by checking to see if, in fact, that right at the bone, it's very tender, so that's easy to do that there. And I am going to put a couple of these beautiful chicken thighs. I mean, this dish just looks stunning. You could literally carry this to the table, put down a pad, and serve your guests right out of this pan because it's so beautiful. The potatoes were necessary.
Again, he is correct. Power Falcon is correct. Liberal CNN is literally saying crime is now down thanks to Trump. And crime is out of control in D.C.
Sold down in there.
Now, Phoenix, be a good little girl, or old Uncle Davey is going to put you in timeout.
We've got some of this epazote that's sort of come off into the sauce, and that's all okay there. And make sure to spoon on plenty of this sauce that is now infused with the flavor of
Oh, he did? He got canceled?
the chicken and epazote and all of that. Okay, so I do this just because I like it. I'm a real fan of the flavor of cilantro. So I'm going to pick off a bunch of
Oh, God, this is giving me horror flashbacks. Steve
Cilantro
Reichlin. All right, his dish is done. I think it's stupid. I would have baked the chicken, reverse seared the skin, and then done it that way. I also wouldn't have put potatoes in this, but that's me. But I'm sure this is delicious. Do I want to go to the... No, I want to go the greatest pasta dish in New York City, and that is saying something. I mean, I hate fucking New York. I hate the Giants. I hate the Yankees. I hate the Mets. I hate the... whatever their hockey teams are. I hate the Knicks. I hate whatever their other NBA basketball teams are. I hate New York. Okay? But that pasta looks delicious.
Pasta in New York City that you've never heard about. A dish that I experienced for the first time at a hidden gem of an Italian restaurant on the Upper East Side called Link.
All right, Phoenix. Time to go into timeout. 1 minute. 1 minute. Stop being a bad girl.
Cilantro Baracca. A truly revolutionary pasta for me, and I figured out
Oh, God. Yeah, I forgot. The fucking Jets.
how to make it. This is spaghetti and tomato water. Now I think I'm gonna invent my own little Hall of Fame, Stevie's Hall of Fame of food. Restaurant dishes that I've eaten that are so good, they deserve recognition and allow some people who may never have some of these dishes, whether you live in another country, to be able to make them at home. And now this is a simple dish. We're gonna need about 3 pints of cherry tomatoes. Here I've got some beautiful farmer's market red cherry tomatoes and some sun golds, just a few of the sun golds. They add an amazing sweetness that's gonna add to the rest of them, and that's why we're using cherry tomatoes. The sweetness here is so beautiful, and they do have a nice juiciness to them that I almost prefer to use a cherry tomato versus like a Roma tomato that is a little bit more meatier. Now, we've kind of got a little bit of these tomatoes to cut. I don't usually like a method like this, but we don't really care if we damage the tomatoes at all. We're
I put her in timeout for a minute. Just a minute.
kind of extracting
She was being a bad little girl.
their juice. So here's a trick to cut a bunch quickly.
Shit, I gotta try that.
We really just need to puncture them because these guys can be tricky when they boil down to pop. So by cutting them, just opens a place for some of that juice to expel. I've got a pot, just gonna add the cut cherry tomatoes to it. And get a bigger knife.
Power Falcon, do not question NFL team names. It'll only make you cry. Trust me, the Raiders are the NFL's whores. They've had like, what, 4 or 5 cities? They were the Oakland Raiders, then they were the LA Raiders, then they were the Oakland Raiders, then they were the LA Raiders, then they were the Oakland Raiders. Now they crashed out in Vegas.
Now, if you ever do find yourself on the Upper East Side, you've really got to try L'incontro Baracca.
And by the way, the Raiders suck. Fuck the Raiders. I know when I was a kid, the Raiders were the greatest fuck because they look cool. The Raiders were awesome, but fuck them. They suck. They've always sucked. They had one good goddamn season, much like the fucking Bears 40 fucking years ago. Bears suck. Raiders suck. Cowboys suck. Chiefs suck. Eagles suck. Jets suck. Giants suck. Knicks suck. Yankees sucks. Mets sucks.
Oh, it's one of these sleeper Italian restaurants in New York City.
Green Bay Packers suck. Detroit Lions suck. And Chicago Bears, they suck.
Not in the Lower East Side or any of the trendy areas. So you kind of have to make a trek uptown, but trust me, if you need a good spot uptown, this is the one.
I will say this. I was rooting for your Eagles in the last Super Bowl just because I didn't want fucking the Chiefs to go 3. And I just wanted to see if Travis had beat the shit out of Taylor.
All right, so I've stuffed this to the brim. It's gonna collapse, right? These are gonna kind of shrink a bit, so that's about as much as I wanna add. And then just to help it get started, I'm gonna add just a little water to the bottom of the pan. Then I'm gonna get it onto the stove, low heat, cover.
All right, so he's made a bunch of cherry tomatoes.
Once we get some liquid going, we're gonna toss in some fresh basil. I've got some of the basil stems. We're gonna try and extract that flavor. Pasta's so good. Wait until you taste it. Now we just wanna get them started with the lid on and the heat on a little bit lower. We wanna get that water boiling a bit to release the juices of the tomato. And we can add a little bit of salt to it to kind of help
They're really little tomatoes.
release some of that moisture. And once some of
And yeah, if you want a cherry tomato sauce, it's going to be very flavorful. But yeah, there ain't going to be a whole lot.
That
but thankfully, it does go a long way.
starts to accumulate, we can jack up the heat to get this boiling and then add in the basil stems and the basil leaves. We just want to cook these tomatoes for about an hour or until they get super soft, almost to the point that all that's left of them are the skins and the seeds. After about an hour, it looks like...
Well, there was no chance of me opening up the lines there, Phoenix. And what chance do you think of me opening up the lines here is?
Those tomatoes have given...
Oh, that's right. 0.
off all they have to give. Now we can...
Because, quite frankly, I don't see the point. Because every time I open up the lines, it follows the same suit. I lay down the rules, somebody violates them, and then I end the stream. I can do it right now, and somebody will violate it, and I will end the stream. There's no point. Until you motherfuckers abide by my rules, why should I? And you people act like you're owed something. Like you're owed me opening up the lines. You're owed me you're owed my talking to you. Get this through your thick fucking skull. Nobody's owed anything. I don't have to do shit. I could do now till my dying day, never open up the lines again, and I didn't do anything wrong. You can ask all you like. Doesn't mean I'm gonna do it.
strain them.
Stop acting like you're entitled to something.
Got a fine mesh strainer here, a chinois right here. We got a bowl underneath. We're gonna pour that in. And then I'm just gonna try and get as much of that tomato water as we can. And that tomato water, that's the magic. That's what we're gonna cook our spaghetti in. And what's great with the skins and everything else, you can run that through a food mill, you could puree it, and you can make another sauce with it. You can make tomato jam with it. You can do a lot of stuff. So it's not like you gotta throw it away. But this is all we're gonna need today. What's incredible about this pasta is as intense and concentrated and flavorful as this dish is, it only takes 2 other ingredients than the tomato water. Spaghetti and butter. And we'll add some basil for color at the end. Simplicity at its finest, something with so few ingredients that tastes so outrageous. One of the wonders of Italian cooking. We're gonna keep our butter cold, and this is all about technique, right? Now, we're not gonna make enough tomato water to actually boil the tomato in them. So what we're gonna do is finish it in the tomato water, start it in a pot of boiling water. Just like we do most pastas, or like an aglio olio, you start it for like about half the time, a little,
And you have half the pasta.
maybe 2/3 the time in actual boiling water, and then you finish it in the sauce, or in this case, we're gonna put in some of our tomato water, and then I'll show you the technique. Now, once the water is boiling, we can season the water with enough salt so that it tastes almost like a
That's nowhere near enough water, even if you are just doing a half a pound of pasta.
seasoned broth. And then we can go ahead and drop in the pasta. The package says it cooks for about 9 to 10 minutes.
Okay, that's a quarter pound of pasta. Okay, he's making one serving, basically.
So I'm going to pull it out of the water at around 7. Meanwhile, in a pan or a saucier off to the side, turn the heat on low and add in about a cup of the tomato water. I'd say if you're making this for more people, about a cup of the tomato water per person should get you there. Give the pasta a stir, and then we can take out our cold butter out of the fridge and dice that up. For one portion, about 1 to 2 tablespoons should work. Once the pasta has been cooking in the water for
Go to 2.
about 7 minutes, we're going to pull it out and add it to the tomato water. I'm going to turn the heat up, and cooking the pasta in the sauce in this pan is going to slow down the cooking process. So I'm not going to cook it for another 2 minutes.
You're right, Phoenix. But you, once again, you, like all the others, act like you're entitled to my time. You're not. Okay? Open the lines, talk to one person, it doesn't matter. I have to stop what I'm doing, get everyone together, and then talk. You're not entitled to that.
To get it to the packaged instructions, I'm going to cook it closer to another 5 minutes in the tomato water. So in that time, we're going to swirl that pasta.
And right now, I don't really feel like talking to anyone. So go call 1-900-DIAL-A-FRIEND.
Around in the tomato water, releasing some of the starch from the pasta and reducing the tomato water to the point of almost glazing the spaghetti. That reduction is sort of key in the concentrating of the flavor of that sauce. When we're close to around 5 minutes, we can check the pasta for al dente, and if it's still under and that tomato water has reduced, we can just treat the tomato water just like we would pasta water by adding a little bit at a time, helping finish that cooking process until the pasta is al dente and the tomato water is glazing
God, what a pathetic small amount of
the
pasta.
spaghetti. Then we can turn off the heat, we can add in cold butter and swirl and
Is there anything I like about New York? Well, yeah, their pizza. I just hate their sports teams, bro.
toss that pasta until the butter has completely melted and emulsified into the sauce. The sauce should cling tightly to the
Actually, I'm not a big fan of New York pizza. I like their Asian markets. Steakhouses are great. Your pizza's trash. I'm sorry, but New York pizza is a goddamn fucking soda cracker with pizza sauce and cheese on it.
spaghetti, and it should have a slight pink hue, almost like a vodka sauce. That looks
But there is like this mythical New York pizza slice, or there is this pizza slice where it's like fucking huge and you can fold it. I don't know, maybe that'll be alright. But also the reason that I have this hatred is also because of Jon Stewart, because I am a huge deep dish pan pizza fan. Not Chicago style per se, but just a nice, good, thick, toasted pizza crust. How the hell did we get on this? I should be talking about pasta and his lack of pasta.
perfect to me, and it's ready to plate. Pick up the pasta with your pasta tongs and using a ladle, cradle it in there and swirl that pasta up into a little...
Okay, this is where a lot of cooking shows lose me. I don't give a fuck how it's plated. And trust me, if somebody's hungry, nobody cares either.
bundle, just like you would a fork with a spoon. And then transfer that over to the plate and slide it off the ladle, and it should maintain a nice bundle. Then top it with a little bit more sauce. If you're running low in the pan, you can always add a touch more of that pasta water and sort of get a little bit more yield out of the sauce. And then we're gonna finish it with a little bit of basil and a little bit of grated
Dude, that's like 2 ounces of pasta. That's a snack.
parm. And now this looks like a simple tomato sauce, but wait until you taste it.
And unless my memory slipped me, this is vegan. Oh, no, there's parm cheese in it, I think. Well, it's vegetarian at least. Fucking vegans are weird. Alright, well, I went back, so I really don't care what he has to say about it. Alright, let's go to the sandwich whore.
Hungry? Want me to make you some guac?
Wait a second. What the hell was that? Alright. Okay, so we have frozen rolls on a dish that she's covering for some reason. Now we have crushed tomatoes or whatever, seasonings, blah blah blah, making it into a pizza. Okay, now we have pizza sauce, mozz, pepperonis, her putting that shit in the oven, sexy dance, which isn't that sexy. Now we have chicken wings, making a buffalo sauce. Okay, so we have buffalo wings. The best I can describe is Detroit-style pepperoni pizza. Which I am curious as how that particular... I think I can get that brand. I'm curious how that particular brand, if I bash it all together, works as a pizza crust.
Perfect. Here you go.
Good. Now, before the game starts, can you make me a Captain Coke, Sweet Cheeks? Although I will say, yeah, at least she cooks. Alright, this is the fried chicken sandwich.
Hey, you hungry? Want me to make you a sandwich?
Fuck, she's wearing a dress. Alright, so I assume we have some egg, buttermilk, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, hot sauce, salt, pepper. Flour, something, paprika, seasoning salt, I don't know, the dry mix. Yeah, here's the thing, at least she can competently cook. I got the mayo. Got what looks like our chicken breast. Salt, pepper. Top it.
Perfect. Here you go.
I would most likely eat the shit out of that. I'd like a little more. I'd like more sauce on it, but that's a nitpick.
Hey, you hungry?
And we'll do kimchi chopped cheese. All right, I don't know what the fuck that is. A patty of 50-50 beef, 50-50 pork. Okay, there's that. Fine. All right, we chop that up. We have some onions. We got kimchi. Some Swiss. We have a toasted whatever bun. And we got some ketchup. We got our meat, onion, kimchi, whatever, lettuce, tomatoes, salt and pepper. I'm assuming this is gonna be the... Okay, we'll wrap it up, and then boom.
Perfect. Here you go.
Okay, sweetheart. I'm gonna pass on that because I don't know what the fuck the goddamn meat was. Alright, I'm gonna switch over to something I know a lot about. Chili! But this is chili made by my favorite Mexican uncle, Arnie Tex! What are these plates? How do they work?
Some Texas-style chili. In this video, I'm going to give you my award-winning Texas-style chili recipe. Now, chili is a really complex recipe.
Well, honestly, chili is just that. It's just beef and sauce. That's what true blue chili is. Now, granted, in a chili cook-off, I would also get the more Americanized version with beans in there, because I like beans in my chili. To me, this is just... Well, this is just chili sauce. If I was making chili burgers, this would be my sauce, and this sauce looks fucking great. But I'm going to have to leave you guys for a little while. I know you're going to cry. But I have to pee. I'm not in my depends years yet. All right. Oh shit. A little bit more, little bit more, little bit more, little bit more, little bit more. All right.
And the key to an award-winning chili at home is to make it your own. In this recipe, we're using 3.5 pounds of ground beef, half an onion, 1 bell pepper, 3 garlic cloves, 3 Roma tomatoes, 1/4 cup of tomato paste, 4 tablespoons of chili powder, 2
Favorite YouTube cook? I don't know if he qualifies as a YouTube cook, but it's the guy that taught me the most. I'm going to have to go with Gordon Ramsay, but I don't know if he qualifies as a YouTube cook. As for pure YouTube, I'm going to have to go with Binging with Babish. But that's pure YouTube.
teaspoons of smoked paprika, half a teaspoon of oregano, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 tablespoon of OG, that's my salt, pepper, garlic, 1 tablespoon of wow, 2 tablespoons of better than bouillon. We're also adding something that really kicks up the flavor, mirepoix. We're also going to finish it out with 2 tablespoons of
Mirepoix in every fucking soup, my dude.
mozzarella. Now here's the biggest pro tip that the chili champs use. Brown your meat over high heat before adding it to the dish. This will take your chili recipe to a whole other level.
Oh, yeah. And then deglaze the pan. Now, I would deglaze with either beer or bourbon. It's your choice.
Level of flavor.
Or if you want to go completely neutral and eliminate risks, you can go with water, but there's a risk with water in that it's plain. Oh, crap on his cross.
Let's make some Texas style chili. In this video, tablespoons of and let those start cooking into the dish, into the meat of smoked paprika, half a teaspoon of oregano, 2. Okay, friends, you can use beef broth, as I said earlier.
Where was I in this
video? Don't want it
video?
steaming too hard. As soon as that's going on, we're also going to add our bell pepper.
Okay,
Every
there we
last
are.
drop. I'm going to turn this up to high. I'm going to add some water. You can add beef broth, chicken broth, beef stock, chicken stock, whatever, folks. It doesn't really matter. Now, me personally, I just want to add enough water to cover.
Yeah, True Blue chili actually has no beans. Now, me personally, I would have added beef stock, but that's me.
The meat for now. We're going to add a little bit more later. We're going to bring it to a boil. Once it starts to boil, then we're going to slow it down to a simmer.
You know, it's kind of like a Maid-Rite. A lot of people think a Maid-Rite is actually what we would also call a sloppy Joe. It's not. Maid-Rite has another name, loose meat sandwiches. There's nothing on it. It's just literally boiled burger meat, onions, and bread. That's it.
It's going to be about a 2.5 to 3 hour cook. All right, so we're going to add these onions. We're going to stir fry them. We want to get them a little bit translucent. As that's going on, we're also going to add our bell pepper. And I'm going to reserve these other onions for a little while. I'll show y'all why in just a minute. So we're going to add the garlic as soon as this stuff here starts to get a little bit translucent and soft. In the meantime, while this is going on, my pot started to boil a little bit. So I lowered the heat on the chili pot. See how it's steaming out the side there? That means I need to lower it a little bit more. We don't want it steaming too hard.
I usually add beans with my chili. It depends on what I'm making. Like, if I'm making a chili dip, I don't want beans. If I'm making a chili that goes on top of, like, let's say a burger or something, I don't want beans. But if I'm making chili as a standalone dish, you better goddamn believe that motherfucker will have beans in it. Oh, and if I'm making chili to go on top of French fries, then, yeah, you better believe that motherfucker will have beans in it.
As soon as this garlic gets nice and toasty a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, then we're going to go ahead and add the tomatoes. Whoop, whoop. We're cooking, friends. 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. Now that our tomatoes are nice and hot. And a little bit of water. You can see how it's not boiling real fast, it's just simmering. We're gonna add all of this delicious yummies in here. And we're gonna give it a little stir. We've been adding some different ingredients and flavors.
Look, I'm not saying that this isn't going to turn out good, but this is not the way I would do this.
Flavor to our chili. Now we're gonna build our powder dump. That's what you call it in the chili world. So I'm gonna mix all the powders into
I would either have them boiling, simmering, whatever, in either beef stock or tomato sauce, or probably a combination of the two. In what ratios, I don't know off the top of my fucking head.
to one bowl here, and then we're going to go dump it into the pot. So let's get started. We're going to take 2 tablespoons of the Fiesta light chili powder, and you'll notice right away that the color is even very, very different. So we're going to take 2 tablespoons of this. We're going to take 1 tablespoon of the Gephardt chili powder, and if you look close, you can see that the color is very different. 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, half a teaspoon of bodega.
Arnie, my Mexican mustache brother. Go to the produce section. They sell spices in bags. Buy your own little jars. You'll save a ton.
2 teaspoons of comino, also called cumin. We're going to add 1.
Chili dogs. Oh, God, are they a problem? Because I like chili dogs with chili with no beans. I like chili dogs, chili with beans. That's going to be a pure my fucking mood. If they're bratwurst, no beans.
1 teaspoon of cayenne. Trust me, that's not enough in a 3-pound dish of chili to even taste it. Now we're going to take 2 tablespoons of OG. This is more salt, pepper, and garlic. Of course, we got to put wow, so we'll put 1 tablespoon of wow in there. Let's mix it all.
And if the chili is the only dip, then I'm going with no beans. And they're like, well, wait a second, what the fuck? You said when it was dumped over fries. Yeah, because then usually the fries get eaten by a knife and fork. Little different than a chip dip.
All up. You can see how it's simmering.
Like I said, beans are the point of no return for your chili going one of 2 ways. No beans is one thing. Beans are another. I gotta block that number.
Really nice there. So we're going to dump all these powders in here and let those start cooking into the dish, into the meat. Give it a little stir. That's going to be great. Put the lid back on and let it continue to cook.
Like I said, I would eat the shit out of this.
Okay, friends, you can use beef broth, as I said earlier, if you want it to be a little beefier. I don't use beef broth. I like to use called Better Than Bouillon. This has a really good...
I would just use whatever.
beefy flavor. So we're going to put 2 teaspoons. That's 1. And that is number 2. This bouillon does have salt in it too, so you might start with a little bit less if you're sensitive to salt. All right, friends, now here's...
My concern is I'm starting to see a grease ring form around it.
Here's another ingredient that I like to add to my chili and some other dishes.
And again, this is something that the beans do soak up. The grease.
This is something called mirepoix.
And now I'm getting hungry for chili. And I can't make chili. And I can't drive to get the ingredients to make chili. And I blame... Fuck it, I blame Phoenix. And Fiera. And every fucking woman in the world. Unless one of you females goes to the grocery store and drives to my house and gives me ingredients to make chili.
And what it is, it was created by some French chefs many moons ago. And what you do is you take about equal amounts of onion, celery, and carrots, and you sweat them slowly in a pan with a little bit of oil in there. You sweat them, you brown them a little.
Yeah, you're basically making kind of like a vegan roux.
Bit, brings out an extra delicious flavor. Then they add it to different sauces and different dishes to really enhance the flavor. And I'm going to add that to the chili pot as well.
Except I would have done that before I did anything else. That would have been the first thing I did in this pot, was make the goddamn mirepoix. You're kind of almost defeating the purpose of it. Because it's supposed to go so long, it just disintegrates. You know, it's kind of like a roux, but you added it to a cheese that's, let's say, already half-ass melted. You've defeated the goddamn purpose.
If you guys could smell, this chili already smells really fantastic. All right, let's give it a little stir again. Let that stir.
Don't tell him, Juice, but for like the last hour, all the comments have been pro me. These idiots actually thought they'd run me off at one point.
Folks, this has been cooking for an hour now, approximately. We've got another hour, maybe hour and a half to go, at least as a minimum. I've been tasting it. It's amazing, but I thought it needed a little bit more chili powder and a little bit more of the smoked paprika. So I'm going to put a tablespoon of chili powder and about...
I'm sorry, but the entire top layer looks like nothing but grease. Just saying, bro.
Half of a tablespoon of the smoked paprika. We've got about another hour to go. We're going to just let it ride.
And unlike water, grease doesn't go away.
Our chili is about done. It's been 3 hours. The last thing we're going to add is going to be...
I mean, unless the last thing you're going to do is fucking... Okay, the corn flour or just drain it. But right now, you're fucked.
Some masa. I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of masarina. It thickens it quick, does a great job. Now you can use flour or whatever you like. I like to use masarina. I'm already hungry for some chili. Some of that didn't come out, so we're going to put this in here. And we're going to let that cook for about another 10 minutes.
All right, so basically he's making a cornstarch slurry. We'll see what this does.
Then we'll be eating some chili. Woo, woo. Good stuff, friends. Really good stuff. All right. Here we go. We got this nice big pot of chili. Let's see what it looks like.
Oh, like I said, I'd eat the shit out of it because I don't give a rat's ass if I die of a heart attack tomorrow. And looks like actually that did the trick. I'll be a son of a bitch.
Ooh-wee. Looks gorgeous. This has a beautiful, gorgeous red color.
I will be a son of a bitch. I thought he was completely fucked. Well, never fucking underestimate a cornstarch slurry. Son of a bitch. I guess son of a bitch. And I'm sure this chili is delicious.
Check that out. Wow. Now, one of the things I did, I shut it off.
And since this is just sauce and meat, I would put this on burgers, nachos, pizza, wings, pretty much everything.
Want to let your pot settle down and cool off a little bit. That oil, whatever.
All right, we're going to see. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because I want to try to get to one more. He's got some cheese in there. And he's just going to do the bowl thing. So I'm going to do... fuck my ass. You know what? I'm gonna do with this Julia bitch. Sirloin burgers with pickled red onions and oven fries. This is Julia at home.
It's burger night in the Davison house, and today I'm working on home.
Okay, those burgers look fucking raw. Oh God, I don't want to go to work. Okay, screw it. We're not doing that. Screw it. Here's New York Deli's tuna salad.
We are going to make New York Deli tuna salad. You have loved all the other deli recipes we've...
Why is it so many people want to kill their families with goddamn...
made? This one seems simple on paper, but there are a couple techniques and tricks that will allow you to get it to taste exactly like a deli. Here are the ingredients. Let's get into it right now. All right, New York Deli tuna salad.
Well, I've never had a fucking, what is it, tuna salad sandwich from a deli, so, enlighten me.
I worked in a few delis. You guys know this. If you've been watching this channel, you know we've done a bunch of the deli potato salad, mac salad, coleslaw, chicken salad. And I will say that some recipes like coleslaw, mac are like the same everywhere. They just don't change. But tuna salad is one that some places will make it a little bit different. I think this is like the best basic one. All right, so I am using Bumblebee. These are 5-ounce cans. Delis will often use the chunk light. They'll use, you know, if it's like a fancy deli, maybe they'll do half of the solid albacore, then they'll do half of the chunk light. Chunk light is just, it's like mashed already. We're gonna mash this anyway, so it's not a big deal if you use all chunk light. I have albacore here, they were on sale. We're gonna do 4 cans here, which is gonna be enough for about 4 people for this recipe. I have 1 tablespoon of soy sauce.
Did I do this before? I feel like I did this before. All right, here's the other thing, and if I didn't, then fuck it, I'll do it tomorrow. How to make a New Orleans muffaletta pizza. Okay.
Here with Loco Cookers, cooking on the big boy griddle. Look, I'm gonna show you how to make pizza on your Loco griddle. Now, you can make any pizza you want, but I'm gonna combine my love for one of my favorite sandwiches, the muffaletta, known in New Orleans and Louisiana around for deli meats and Italian salad and provolone cheese. This works for any type of topping, but I love this muffaletta pizza for a fresh take on a classic Louisiana dish.
Okay.
Okay, for this pizza, I'm gonna use a frozen dough ball from my local grocery. I'm gonna follow the directions on the packaging in terms of temperature. Now, it says to set your oven for 3...
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't fucking care. Great.
Where'd this come from?
The pantry.
Where'd you come from?
The pantry. When your kid is hurting and there's nothing you can do about it.
Carrots, cauliflower, it's really salty and briny. Provolone cheese, I like sharp provolone. And then you got smoked ham, mortadella, and just hard salami. This is Genoa salami from the deli case at the grocery store. I'm gonna add some ricotta cheese as well. It kind of acts as a sauce, if you will, because this is somewhat of a sauce-free pizza. But this is not typical of a muffaletta, but for a pizza purpose, it does the trick really nicely. All right, so dough is rolled. You can see I rolled it up around my rolling pin. I'm gonna take some olive oil. Nice kind of spread of olive oil there. I'll take that dough. I'll just roll it out onto my cooking surface. And from there, you just want to let that dough do its thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close the lid to kind of get as much of an effect as I can you know, so that top part can start to bubble up real nice. Now that that pizza is really starting to kind of come together, I'm gonna give those bigger bubbles a little pop. So let some of that air, and then I'm gonna take this spatula and just give it a rotate. See how that's looking pretty good right there. I want to give it a little more time on this side. All right, the dough is looking good. Before I flip it, I want to take some of this oil from the olive salad. Just give it a nice little mix around. Don't worry about some of the solids that come off. Those flavors are really associated with this pie.
Why would you do this?
That looks good. Now from here, what I want to do, take my spatula and then just like that, all right? Now, right away, I want to get to work on building this pizza because you're going to build it on the flat top. I'm going to take a couple of little pieces of ricotta, all right? Just give it a little spread. It can be in clumps. That's okay. It's going to be nice little pockets of cheesy goodness. All right, that's looking good right there. Give it a little salt.
Yeah, I did that. I had my mouth burnt for a week.
A little black pepper. Next up, I want to layer my meat on there, all right? You're gonna do single layer of all meats. You can put as much or as little as you want on there. Looks like I'm gonna use a good bit of this. That's my salami. I'm gonna add my ham.
Jesus Christ, I'm a meat lover king, and even I'm thinking this is overkill.
And I'm gonna add my mortadella.
Why don't you just get the other bread and grill that up and just have this as a sandwich?
You can't get mortadella. Honestly, bologna's not a bad substitute. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my olive salad.
Fuck. What the fuck is this?
Olive salad here. I've had a lot of people.
Okay, I'm sorry. Southerners have no fucking taste. Sorry, everyone from the Mason-Dixon line. You have no fucking taste. Again, this guy has damn near 20,000 subscribers. 140-0 in the comments section.
Pizza before, and it's one of my favorite things. I just can't get enough of that salty, briny herbaceous olive salad mixing with the cheese and the
olives are fucking disgusting.
Deli meat. Lastly, sharp provolone cheese. And I'm gonna scatter.
Oh no, he's serious. He's fucking serious.
Around the whole thing. Full coverage. Now remember, there's no ambient heat like top heat, like an oven would get.
No ambient heat, no top heat like an oven would give. That's why you generally bake pizza in the fucking oven, you brain dead hick.
To a pie, so you got to get this done relatively quick and then close the lid.
What's up, everyone? Chef Jean-Paul Bourgeois here, frying some frog legs and interrupting your viewing pleasure to tell you about Duck Cam Dinner Season 4 out this fall, right here on this YouTube channel, Stir the Pot Studio. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and make sure you push those notifications on so you get up-to-date insights on when we're dropping that season. Thanks, y'all.
What I like to do is just turn it down to 300.
I don't care. I'm just gonna skip to the end to see if you actually pulled this off.
Progressive's Up Payment program provides down payment assistance for first-generation home buyers. Because we believe everyone should have the access and opportunity to own a home.
And ladies, if you ever oversleep, here's the shortcut.
Wait, is that the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7?
Oily sandwich, it should be an oily pizza.
I don't want an oily sandwich. I don't want an oily pizza. This is a mess. Good night, everyone. And good luck, and God help us all.